Osaka, December 2019. An ex-Special Forces operative wheels an oversized black case through the lobby of a luxury hotel. Hidden inside is one of the most wanted men in the world, Carlos Ghosn, a disgraced millionaire. They need to reach the private jet before the authorities realize Carlos is missing. What follows is a jailbreak unlike anything seen before. Before Carlos's name ever crossed his desk, Michael had already lived a dozen lives. He started as US Special Forces, trained in unconventional warfare and special reconnaissance. In 1982, war breaks out in Lebanon, tearing the country apart. Michael's unit is sent in. It's his baptism by fire. He trains fighters, learns Arabic, and navigates a city where allegiances change by the hour. He also begins to build a network: soldiers, smugglers, operatives, people who can cross borders where others can't. Lebanon shaped him, and decades later, it would become the key to his boldest mission. After leaving the army with a network of contacts, he became a fixer, the man you called when no one else could help. In 1999, he was hired to rescue a mother and her children, stranded between Lebanon and Syria. Michael worked his contacts, manipulated the system, and had them on a plane back to the US within days. From there, he founded a private security firm and began taking contracts across the globe. In Iraq and Afghanistan, he trained local forces, built intelligence networks, and operated in environments where trust meant survival. These missions cemented his reputation and earned him a name that stuck: Captain America. By 2019, Michael was back in the States, between jobs and restless. Then the phone rings. On the line is Ali, an old contact from Beirut. "We've got a guy," Ali says. "He's close to us. He's getting railroaded in Japan. Can you help?" No name, no details, just a request. Michael listens, cautious. He's heard calls like this before. A man trapped, a system stacked against him. The next day, he starts digging, and the picture comes into focus. The client isn't just anyone, it's Carlos Ghosn, the millionaire CEO of Nissan, confined to a house in Tokyo, cameras outside his door, and detectives watching his every move. The mission? Smuggle him out of Japan, past the guards, past the prosecutors, past an entire nation's justice system. For Michael, it would be the most daring job of his life.
Nissan chairman Carlos Ghosn has been arrested for allegedly underreporting his income. The internal probe by the Japanese automaker found multiple violations, including salary fraud and personal use of company assets. Ghosn has also been fired from the company, where he was known as a top executive who turned the automaker around from near bankruptcy and pushed the company into electric cars.
Carlos was one of the most powerful men in the auto industry. A business celebrity, the man who saved Nissan from collapse. In Japan, they called him Mr. Fix-It. He was treated like a rock star, but power makes enemies. By 2018, the empire he built had turned on him. Boardroom allies vanished, prosecutors circled. Some said he was a fraudster, others said it was a coup from inside Nissan to push him out. Regardless, the charges left him trapped in Tokyo, stripped of control. His bail conditions were suffocating, he was forbidden to travel, and his passports were locked away. His trial could take years, and with a conviction rate of 99%, his fate was all but sealed. For a man used to private jets, luxury mansions, and the freedom of power, it was a gilded cage. He began to despair, and that's when he reached for a way out. Michael still isn't convinced. He decides to meet Carlos's wife in Beirut. She tells him what her husband has been through since his arrest. Lights left on 24 hours a day, interrogations without end, a justice system designed to break him. He listens, and slowly, he's convinced. In Carlos, he doesn't see a tycoon, he sees a prisoner. He makes the call. "I'll do it. I don't need the money, but I want to correct an injustice." He starts putting his team together, choosing his most trusted operators from past wars and jobs. His name carries weight. When Michael calls, people answer. So one by one, the team comes together, until only one question remains: when do they move? It's the 29th of December. It's time to move. Carlos steps out in disguise, a wool hat and a surgical mask. You see his bail carried a loophole. He He was allowed daily unsupervised walks to a hotel for lunch. Inside the hotel, Michael is waiting. The moment of truth has arrived. By late afternoon, they board a bullet train to Osaka. In the shadows, their timing is measured to the second. Nothing is left to chance. George Zayek, Michael's trusted partner, stays close, ready to move when called upon. In a quiet airport hotel, the final move begins. Carlos climbs into the black case, and Michael and George move him to the van. They reach the airport, and the case is rolled onto the jet. Moments later, it lifts into the night, bound for Beirut. Against all odds, he's free.
It might seem to some that you've substituted a very small cell in Japan for a much larger one here in Lebanon, where you can't go anywhere, you can't leave the country, you and your wife are both at risk. Would you go to France? Would you even risk getting on a plane to go to France, even though the minister there has said you would not be extradited?
Yeah, well, as you know, there is a red notice that the Japanese government has sent through Interpol. My lawyers say we can fight the red notice, and particularly we can eliminate the red notice if we can explain our case, particularly if it's considered as a political case. They are more competent than me to tell you what's going to happen. But obviously, first, I don't consider myself as a prisoner in Lebanon. I'm very happy to be here, I can tell you. And I prefer this prison to the one where I was before, you can imagine. And particularly...
Carlos never returned to Japan. From Beirut, he became a symbol, to some, of resistance, to others, of arrogance. He insisted the charges were a corporate plot. Japan insisted they were crimes. The truth remains disputed. What is clear, his escape embarrassed one of the world's strictest justice systems and exposed its weaknesses to the world. Michael's life moved in the opposite direction. Arrested in Massachusetts, he was sent to Japan. He spent 2 years in prison, the price of loyalty to a client who never paid him a cent. He says he acted out of principle, not profit. A soldier's creed, de oppresso liber. 2 men bound by one mission, one free, one punished. And a question that lingers, who really escaped? Thank you for watching Spark Void. We've got more stories coming soon. We'll see you in the next one.